Hey guys, what's up? It's Isaac from the GTE Event Group, and today I am with Sam Ramirez from Bella Vita venue.
Yes.
Over in Visalia.
Yep.
And me and Sam actually go back quite some time. And right now what we're going to do is kind of talk about being in the business of the event business, which is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So anyways, hey Sam, real quick, if you don't mind, share your story. How did you get involved in hospitality?
Wow. So I got involved in hospitality probably 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. I was going to school over in San Luis Obispo, and I was golfing with some friends, and they were hiring in the pro shop. And I thought, well, I wonder if I get if I work in the pro shop, I'll get like discounted golf, right? And so they're like, yeah, you do. I'm like, sweet. So I applied. Unfortunately, they filled it, but the property had a hotel in it too.
Right.
And so they said, hey, we have an opening at our front desk. I said, cool, let's try that. Still get discount on golf? They said, yeah. I'm like, right on, I'm in. And so, so I started there at a small hotel on the Central Coast and working as the front desk, and it was great. I mean, I really kind of fell in love with it and the business and taking care of people and working through it, and kind of spent some time over there on a couple hotels on the Central Coast, and then moved back to the Valley where I'm from, obviously, and worked in some more properties here, and recently decided to start out on my own. So
he's being super humble, guys, when he says worked on some properties.
Yeah.
You know, earlier, me and him were talking about like LeBron James and how LeBron seems to go from team to team, but...
By the way, I promise you I'll never be compared to LeBron, like in any other aspect whatsoever.
But what I mean by that, man, is like man, the passion and the drive to win and build something awesome. Yeah. Like I see you just go from this company and you make it great, and it's like, cool, new one's opening up. Yeah. I can make that one great. Yeah. And now you're here making your own company great, right? Yeah. Now you and another associate of yours opened a company called Naxon
Hospitality.
And the whole goal was for you guys to do event management. Yeah.
So Nicole Matthews, who I know you know, I've worked with Nicole for, probably 6 or 7 years now. We worked at like 3 different companies together. And so when we finally decided, hey, we're kind of enjoy this thing. I think we're kind of good at it. You know, let's start our own. And so
they are.
Yeah. And so we started Naxon Hospitality almost 2 years ago now, and we really started very slowly. And so her and I together, we've developed. We have a couple of projects now. We have Bella Vita venue, which we talked about in Visalia, opening sometime next month. It's going to be a 10,000 square foot building.
So let me catch people here real quick. Hey guys, so Sam went from managing properties, and I think I hear vendors all the time, especially in the wedding industry. My goal is to own my own venue. Yeah. My goal is to own my own venue. And now you did it.
Yeah.
You actually own...
We're doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it. You own your own venue. You do what everyone says that they want to do, which is phenomenal. Yeah. So how did it work out? I mean, because I got to tell you, I want to own my own venue. Yeah. And I think the hard part that gets me is funding, especially in this time.
Absolutely.
These properties skyrocket. The economy is, quote unquote, doing great. Right. I don't know if you want to share your secrets or not, but how did you make it happen?
Yeah, so I think really what it was like for us is it goes back to sales and the business that we're in, right? Is it was about relationships, and we were not a couple of people that started with a whole bunch of capital in the bank, and it's just not where we came from. We had a really good idea, and we thought we could do this thing really well, and so we ended up spending probably over a year just having conversations, just meeting with folks and understanding who some of the players were in the real estate market and in the development market where we were, understanding who was interested in doing what. There were definitely folks out there who were, hey, I want to flip a property and turn it. I'm just want to make a buck, and that's what I'm doing. And others that were trying to build a legacy in terms of their properties and their portfolio and things like that. And so we were able to align really early on with a real estate company and a developer who said, look, I get where you guys are. I've got this really amazing property. I'd love for you to do something with it. Why don't we work together? And we shared ideas and we shared strategies and why we felt we wanted to do. And, it's been really fortunate and incredible to find someone like that who's willing to help us really get there.
Right.
You know, I mean, we came in with some, but definitely had him, help us the rest of the way. And it was really awesome. And, now he calls me this morning at 6:30 this morning. Hey, what do you think about this paint color? And he's like super excited about it. And so I think
cool.
For us, it was just about finding the right people to align with and to have the conversations with. So
got it. And the developer's actually also the owner of the building?
Yeah, so he's going to own the building. We are doing the tenant improvements with him, and we're going to own and operate the business out of that building.
Oh, very cool.
But I think, I probably skipped over a really important part if we're talking business here.
Yes.
Which is the strategy. I mean, we didn't come to the table and say, hey, we want to fund this. Just trust us, right?
Right.
We've done it. Just trust us. We put together a pro forma, and we put together sales strategies and understand our comp set and kind of who else was doing what, and really put a plan together that we thought made a ton of sense, and helped translate that into something that made sense for a real estate investor. And so that was the part I think for us, is just knowing. We knew we could do it because we'd done it before.
Right.
But knowing that particular market and having a really firm grasp on our numbers and understanding what that was. I mean, I'm a big data and numbers guy. If you can't tell me like what the population density is within a 3-mile radius, and you can't tell us what every other property is doing in terms of what their sales strategy is and what their rates are looking like, we don't have a full picture. We can't make a decision.
Right.
And so I, really big on getting all that info and data so that we know we're putting our necks out there. We're starting this business. Are we, where are we getting ourselves into? And we've had some deals that we've known didn't quite pan out and make sense, and so I think it's important to know as much of when to walk away as it is to engage. So
did he know who you were prior to this?
No idea.
Oh, so I bet you when you started talking about like the business, this guy's like, oh man, this guy really knows his shit.
Yeah, so I probably could have really impressed him with just a little bit of knowledge, but what was cool is that he wanted to learn, right? And so he was super interested in understanding what we do and how. And so I think that that was really important part of, and it really helped actually make him a true sort of partner, as opposed to just a guy that had some money,
right.
That we want you to really understand and be comfortable about what we're doing. And so that was huge.
Yeah. Well, I can see that, man. That is so cool, man. Like I said, you're actually doing it.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit about the sales. I think like when it comes to our industry, I feel like most people never charge what they're worth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They would rather put a little scratch in their pocket.
Absolutely.
And instead of like, no, I'm gonna pass because I'm worth more than that.
Right.
Does that hurt your industry?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I think there's a lot of clients that come through with a predetermined idea of what X, Y, and Z should cost, and I think it's sometimes our job to help them understand the value. There's a difference between the price and the value.
Right.
The price is one thing. That's kind of that number that stands out that goes in an event budget or anything else, and it's like, well, that's this, and then the flowers are that, and the DJ services are that, and the entertainment is this, but I think you have to really help them understand sometimes what you're really getting for that.
Right.
And it's hard, man. It's hard to say, look, we've put our blood, sweat, and tears into this project for months and months and months to get it up and going. We are not some conglomerate. Like, our livelihoods, right, depend upon this,
right.
Of being out there and having success in this business. And so it's really hard to put a value to that and help demonstrate that to the guests, because it's their hard-earned money too. I mean, it's a big.
Definitely.
We may see 50 weddings a year, but this is their one, right? And so it's important for them to understand that. But
I agree with you. It's almost like maybe you're car shopping and you find that used car that seems like an incredible deal, right? And you get a great price on it, but it's in the shop every other week,
Right.
Was it really a value?
Or, hey, it's got great wheels and a great paint job and it looks really cool parked, but it's got 300,000 miles on it, right? It's going to give you issues down the road. Like, I think it's that shiny object versus kind of fully vetting that out. But
And I think it's very important to touch on, like, being in this industry, making sure that yourself and the people who represent your brand, put their best foot forward all the time, and they make people feel wanted and special, and just being grateful that they patron your business in the first place. There's so many stories that I hear, like, hey, I booked this venue or I booked this vendor, and it's like they treat me like they're doing me a favor, but I'm the one that gave them the money. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's I think it's super important as to how and why you align yourself with the right partners and people. And I mentioned earlier, I've been able to do that with Matt and Nicole, and it's that aspect of it. One of the things that we've always had to remember in the event space is that you may have 15 different clients you're talking to today about events happening right throughout the rest of the year. But each one of them, they don't really care that you have 14 other people you're talking to. They want to feel special. They want to feel that they are the priority. And it's a little bit like there's the study that was done about like Disney and how they do things. And one of them was like even how many times on average like their employees are asked where the bathrooms are, right? In Disneyland. Because they're asked the same question so many times, and it's the same answer. It's right around the corner, right? Yeah. It's right through there. But it's the ability to kind of smile through that and understand that I get you've been asked 300 times today, but that's the first time that person has asked. And just making sure that you still find a way to make things an experience in the monotony of a simple question like that. And so I think you have to really be conscious of that and know like this is a special day and treat it as uniquely as it is.
Speaking of that, have you had any like just special treatment in purchasing a product or service that made you just feel like, oh my gosh, I want to implement this into my business?
Yeah, I'm going to struggle to think of a specific example right now, but I know that every single time, and it has happened, that it's been because of the way they made me feel. And I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling of checking into a really nice hotel and getting that experience and that front, or being recognized. When I was traveling with a company I was with before, I traveled like 3 days out of every month. Or 3 days out of every week. I would leave on Sunday and come back on Wednesday. And it was airports and hotels and car rentals for 3 days, every week. And it was a grind. It was a struggle. But it was like I would get to, Salt Lake City and the enterprise rent-a-car guy would say, hey, how's your son? Because you have a new baby, right? Last time you were here, you were on the phone with someone and you were talking about the baby. And, and so I think it's those moments of just kind of understanding and people taking the time to like ask about your day and ask about how things are going. Right. One of the things that drives me nuts is when, and I'm probably guilty of myself, you're in the business setting and you see someone, you're walking through a building and hey, how are you? But you keep walking. You don't stop to hear the answer. Right. You're just asking because it's sort of like, oh, I see you. I should probably ask, how are you? How are you? Good. Cool. Okay. Right. And so I think just those people that stop and really, hey, how's your day going? And stop to hear the answer and stop to understand and have a conversation. I think those are kind of the memorable things that I have.
Yeah, that's cool. They're not going through the motion. They
actually
care.
Exactly. It matters. It matters. They're not checking off a box. Yeah, I said hi to 3 guests in the lobby today.
I'm good. I'm at my quota.
Yeah, exactly. I found out they're here for a baseball tournament and they're super excited and tomorrow they have a wedding and the kid, hit a home run or whatever. I mean, it's those types of things that I think, and that's kind of what we look for in staff too.
Cool. So I'm curious, Sam. How did you become great at this? I mean, I know you talked about like, okay, you kind of got started by golfing and wanting to discount it, which is a crazy and cool story, you know? And then, me and you connect at Holiday Inn. I got to tell you, I don't know if you remember this, but we were doing your guys' Christmas party at Holiday Inn for all the staff. And you're like, Isaac, I got to tell you something. You pull me outside the room. Hey, I want to let you know, we're bouncing. Yeah. Me, so-and-so, and so-and-so. Yeah. We're about to take off. Yeah. No one knows this yet. Yeah. But I'm telling you this because you're coming with us. Yeah. I will never forget the way that made me feel. Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
I had forgot. I remember now. But
yeah. Oh man, you're talking about creating that feeling of like, man, that's. I think that was that like brotherhood. Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? I think. So you answered your question for me, right? Is like how did you? By no means do I consider myself great. I think what I've had success, and I appreciate and recognize that. But I think it's because of people that I've worked with, right? It's I come into situations never believing that I'm the one that has the most answers, regardless of my title or role. Like I don't believe that. I believe in surrounding myself with really great people who are really good at what they do, and then let them do that. Right. I don't, when you came to the Christmas party, I wasn't, hey, look, this is how I think you should play, and here's where your lights should go, and here's where your speakers should be. That's you, right? That's what you do so well. And so I think understanding that and then being able to say, hey, look, we're going to do something new. We want you to be a part of it. Right. Is that I think that brings value and just makes it that much better, Right. So yeah, I mean, I've been super fortunate to work with some really, really great people, and now be able to make Nicole and Matt, a couple of my partners, and us to do something together and bring different ideas to the table. So yeah.
So guys, I guess the point I was trying to make here with this is if you're struggling surround yourself around people who are better than you.
Yeah.
You know, who have accomplished or are accomplishing what it is that you want to achieve in your own business.
But ask questions.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think for a long time, I was super intimidated by asking questions of people of, you know, hey, tell me more about how your business works. Like, explain to me more. I'm not in this business, right? I don't do what you do.
Right.
But we work alongside. And so it's like, help me understand that, because I think if I understand that better, it'll make me a better business person. It'll make me a better event person. It'll help me serve my clients better, right? And so I think, don't be afraid to ask questions and for things you don't understand. People are unwilling to admit what they don't know, and it's okay to not know stuff. Like, it's okay to learn. So
most definitely,
yeah,
it's it's actually what made me better.
Yeah,
you know, awesome, man. So okay, cool. How did you get drafted from Holiday Inn to go to? I always wondering, man, how did that happen? How did you go from Holiday Inn to? I guess I could say it. They're not around no more. The Falls Event Center.
The Falls Event Center. Yeah. So yeah, that's a really good question. So when the Falls was breaking ground on their building on the Fig Garden Loop. And so some of their corporate, and they had two other buildings at the time that were in Elk Grove, and that was it. But they had several slated and planned and land in different places for a few years now, and they were ready to grow and expand. And so,
real quick,
yeah,
the people that were ready to grow and expand, were they in the event business?
No.
No. Do you think that was a stake in the grave right there? They didn't understand the event side?
Absolutely. Yes.
Crazy.
Yes. I think they were sort of money people.
Stick in your lane.
That's right. Exactly.
Trust people.
Well, and here's my thing. If you want to step outside of your lane, okay, cool. But just be a passenger in that lane. Let someone else drive who's been in it, right? And who knows it. And I think that's, ultimately, I still have a lot of really good friends that work there, and I love those guys. They do great things. But as we know, the Falls doesn't exist as a company anymore.
Right.
But what we started there, they had their ownership, or their management executive team happened to be in the area getting ready for that building, and they started to look in the market for a GM for that location.
Right.
And I'd been the president of the chairman of the board of directors of the chamber. The Conventions and Visitors Bureau for a couple years. And so I'd spent some time there. So they kind of knew my name was kind of out there a little bit in terms of being engaged in the community, and they wanted someone like that. And so they hired me there, and within I thought, hey, this is really cool. Like, all I have to worry about is events.
Right.
I don't have to worry about hotel guests and people sleeping and boilers going out or noise complaints. Like, I was just gonna focus on one thing for a little while, and really shortly, within months, they realized that they were growing really exponentially, and so they promoted me to director of operations, and then VP of operations, and then chief operating officer. By the time
Did they let you do your job?
Early on they did. Early on they did, but there was a lot of folks in that organization that, and it's understandable, I mean, that had strong opinions about how things should be.
Right.
And we tried to say, hey, look, we get that, but here's the industry, and here's the business, and here's how it works.
Right.
And so, I joined them when we opened Fresno. It was the third building. When we left, they had 12 buildings. So we saw a lot of growth in 3 years with them.
Right.
But there came a time like any other where it's, you started taking an evaluation of the landscape and understanding what's going on and say, look, we need to make some changes. We need to do some things differently. We need to understand our current climate and where we are. And if we don't, we might get into trouble. And ultimately, they didn't want to do that. And as an executive in the company, like, I had to make a decision of, can I get behind a plan that I don't believe in? Right. Like, I've presented what I think will work.
Right.
You have a different plan.
Right.
If I can't believe in that and I don't execute that, then you have every right to have someone in my seat in that role who does believe in it.
Right.
And will want to execute it. So ultimately, I decided to leave.
Right. Which was a great decision.
It was a great decision.
You're no longer around.
I mean, it worked out. For me,
about knowing your business and forecasting what's about to happen.
Well, you have to. If you don't see what's on the horizon, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
And so, ultimately, I stepped away, and I took some months off to kind of reevaluate what I wanted to do next. And that was when Nicole's with me at the Falls as well.
Yeah.
When Nicole and I decided, hey, let's, we've made other people a lot of money.
Yeah.
Let's make ourselves some money.
Right. So, absolutely.
Yeah. And so we actually started with the Darling Hotel in downtown Visalia. And so it's the old county courthouse building that was built in 1935. And we're gonna manage that property on behalf of the owner. But it's a 32-room boutique hotel. It's gonna open after the first of the year. We've got event space throughout there. We've got rooftop bar and lounge. There's kind of a lot of different elements going on there.
I want to DJ there.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no other rooftop spot in Visalia, right? So it's right downtown. It's going to be super cool. It's very period specific. It's everything, the fixtures and furnishings and everything. The building's 1935. Art Deco style, super cool. It's going to be really amazing. The Darling Hotel, and then we had this opportunity to come up with Bella Vita, and so with the old Sons of Italy building in Visalia. So we've got those two things going, and right now that's okay. That's enough. We're plenty busy and good, and so that's what we're focused on. We'll grow in the future, but we're happy with where we are.
That's so cool. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, I got to tell you, I love to see the progression. I like to see people winning.
Yeah,
and absolutely. The way I see it is, not only you guys are winning, you guys are doing it really strategically. Yeah. You guys are like I said, that whole forecasting thing. Yeah. You knew what was on the horizon.
Right.
And I think that's super big for other businesses to understand. Man, it's just unfortunate. Yeah. They had something good. It's now gone. That business doesn't exist.
Well, I just think the amount of time we spend a lot of time building strategies and plans. I mean, you do. Right. It's like sitting down. What does my next 6 months, 12 months, 5 years look like? And you can develop that plan and say, it's really cool. This is great. I feel good about this. It's solid. And then you go to execute it. And 2 months down the road, it's we got to tweak a little bit. And I think some people are just are afraid to pivot a little bit, and instead say, well, no, I want to get there, and this was how I said I'm going to do it. And that's true, but there's a lot of other ways to get there. And so I think people have to really be business people. You have to be really willing to adjust and change and tweak and know that that's okay. Right. That in the end, the same goal's there, but don't get stuck in your ways, and don't if you start to see the market or conditions shifting, you better be ready to move with it, or you're going to get left behind.
Got it.
So
do you read business books?
I'm terrible at it. I'm Nicole's been trying to get me on audiobooks for a long time. I should probably do that. But no, I read little snippets here and there, and I'll kind of go through. I can't think of the last time I read a full on
any business podcast or anything like that.
No, I don't. That's what's terrible. This one I'm gonna start on this one, but no, I need to start. I need to do more of it because I don't. But but the thing is, I recommend it. If people recommend it to me, I need to make more time for that.
You're a rare breed. Like you're so sharp and knowledgeable, and I am too, but it was only because I read those books.
Right. No, I've had the fortunate opportunity to have some really amazing mentors along my career that have taught me a lot of things, and I try to stay very engaged and aware. But for me personally, I never want to stop. My grandpa told me long to learn something new every day, and so I try to learn something new every day, and I definitely need to engage more in books and audio and listening and being
very cool. Yeah. Very cool. So, anyways, man, do you kind of want to add anything to this? If anyone's out there struggling, or really, I designed this to help other event businesses grow. Yeah. Anything else you kind of want to?
No, I just think it's again, don't be afraid to ask for help. Right. We asked for help. We wouldn't have gotten started without it. Unless you are willing to engage. I've got a gentleman that reached out to me recently. They said, look, hey, I've been in the restaurant business for a long time, and I'm interested in getting into hotels. Would you have time? Can I buy you a cup of coffee?
Right.
And it's absolutely. I would love to go. So I would say if you're looking at gaining knowledge, don't be afraid to ask questions of those that are doing well and those that you think are performing the way you want to perform. And if you're performing really well, don't be afraid to share that knowledge. Don't be afraid to take some time to mentor someone and spend some time with someone and give them the chance that you would have wanted, right? And so
it took me a long time to be free with what I learned.
No, and
it took me a long time.
Because you worked hard for it, right?
I think that's what it was.
I get it.
And I did it before YouTube and before Facebook. People don't understand how much money I have invested in my conferences and the shows. It's funny, I was telling someone the other day, my very first conference, everyone sees Isaac's doing it really big, but you didn't see when I only had enough money to eat off of the 99-cent menu at McDonald's while I was in Vegas.
Right.
And how I had to walk to the no one realizes Like truly
No.
humble beginnings. Like, how did I afford that ticket in the first place?
Yeah.
To be at that show.
But that's part of your story.
Yeah.
And part of that struggle early on is, I'm sure for someone like you, it's like you don't stop. I mean, I'm seeing the office next door and the next business and the things you're doing, right? Like, you stay hungry with it because you remember there was a time
Right.
when you didn't have it. And I think that's super important for people to keep in mind. Remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hustle hard
Every day.
Hustle, yeah,
Every day.
Don't stop the hustle.
That's right.
Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. I hope this was motivational. I hope that you guys learned something that you could take with you and use. If you guys want to get a hold of me personally, you can get me on IG at Isaac_Atkinson_. You can email me at Isaac@gteeventgroup.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's Isaac Atkinson on YouTube. And Sam, if someone wants to get a hold of you and have coffee or just ask a question for you, how do they get a hold of you?
Sam at naxonhospitality.com. NAXON hospitality.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys, and I wish you well in your journey on building an awesome business. Until the next video, take care, and we'll catch you later.
Thanks, man. Love it.
Bro.
Love it.
Smash that, man.
That's fun, dude. I like that.